But yeah, should we get into some nerdy news? We got some interesting bits this
We
week,
have got some interesting bits this week.
including what feels like the first bit of like straight up killer good Star Wars news.
Mm.
We have
Mm.
got an official bit of information about Visions season 3.
Yes, it is confirmed to be happening, and they
Yes,
gave us the list of the studios that are being
indeed they
included,
did.
all of which are anime studios.
So they are all anime studios this time, because obviously last time out we had like
Uh,
Aardman and like some more
so
abstract styles.
yeah, we the first what season one had anime studios and some kind of safe bet studios, I would
Yeah,
call it. And then the second season, they were like, we're going to go way more out there. They went global, and it was like
yeah.
literally studios from like all over the world. You had, like you said, we had Aardman, we had some proper unique styles of studios. This one with the like Vision season 3, they'd done, I presume it was Japanese, the text. And it's obviously they've chosen like, okay, this season we're going to give it to all anime studios and have an anime vibe.
I do wonder if that means we're going to get like just one episode where they're like, fuck a story, we're just doing a 20-minute anime style
Fight
lightsaber
scene.
battle.
It
Yeah.
would not surprise me. Now, if I remember correctly, I think it was the. So we got a list of all the.
Yes. So the studios are David Production, Production IG, Trigger, Cinema Citrus, Kamikaze Duga, Wit Studio, Polygon Pictures, and Project Studio Q.
If I remember correct from when I looked it up, I hope I'm remembering this right. Kamikaze Duga was the one that did the black and white one
Oh,
from the
okay.
first one. Yes, I've just Googled it again. So they were the one that did the Ronin Jedi that everyone fucking loved, and then it got
Yeah.
a comic made
Yeah.
because everyone loved it so much. So they're back again. There
I
was
think we could agree that is a fair decision to give them a
I
second episode.
um I think from them I would be more than okay for it to be set in the same art style, same universe, just new story, but like they start building this like samurai world out a bit. Even if
Yeah.
it's a follow on, like I'm okay. Like just we loved it so much. Have some more fun in that world that they were creating.
Yeah, make this a very far away universe from the main Star Wars universe where very far in the future a couple of people settled out there
Mm-hmm.
and they've got a lot of similar technology, but cultures evolve differently. It doesn't have to be a problem.
What I forget which other one it is, but the twins episode in that first
Oh, that was
season
such a good episode as well.
is also one of these studios.
Awesome. So we've
Might
got
have
a couple
been,
of familiar faces back.
yeah. Now a lot of people will know Trigger,
I
because
recognised it, but I'm not a big anime head, so I have no
they
reference point.
were the studio that started Attack on Titan
Got ya, but they
and
didn't finish
did,
it.
I think, 3 seasons. Then Mappa took it over, and Mappa's
Okay.
like the fucking king of anime at the moment. Like they've taken on so many big IPs. If I think I'm getting that correct or close enough, like Trigger is did Attack on Titan at the beginning. I am excited for that one because like Attack on Titan's incredible. Um, there's a one of them has done Evangelion, which is like a mech anime.
Got ya.
I would love a Jedi versus mechs. That could be really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Um, there's like these are all pretty solid anime studios that we could get some really, like you say, if one of these does like a 20 minute just anime fight scene, could be incredible.
I've said it a
Um,
couple of times. Visions is the most reliable project that
mhm.
Star Wars has right now as an IP.
Yeah.
Because the biggest issue Star Wars is having is it's struggling to make anything
Hmm.
because of internal anxiety, business decisions, 12 million reasons, I'm sure. because Visions gets rid of the big anxiety of making it and also the story of it, that it gets rid of all. It's like, okay, here is our IP. You're allowed to use lightsabers. You're allowed to use whatever you want. No one cares if it's canon or not. Make something cool. And because they literally just like release it and they're like, phenomenal. Because you're letting artists do what artists do best. And no, not every episode is going to be to your taste. But that's kind of the beauty of it. Not every episode will be good for you. But one episode, at least, you'll be like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever.
Some of them are like, we always have our favourite episodes, and then some are just like, not hitting for us, but they're still great like episodes.
Exactly.
I'm so down for them doing this whole, like, season 3's Anime Studios. I'd love if next season, like, they do a season 4 and it's like all stop motion stuff.
Oh, that'd be so
like
cool.
Like Aardman, you get like a Lego Star Wars one where they use like the mix of CG and stop motion. Like, there's a bunch of other studios that still doing stop motion stuff, but like this idea of having a bit of a theme to the seasons, I think, with the studios could be quite cool.
Yeah, like there's definitely some value to it.
Yeah, and we've said it plenty of times. Like, we want a Marvel version of this.
Yeah, I've said for the longest time, What If is built to be Visions. You go, here are, and like I said, Marvel can write the scripts if they want to. You write 30 fucking scripts, you send them out to a bunch of studios and go, tell us which one you want to do. Give us like a scene out of it, like storyboarded, so we know how your style would look in it. And then we'll tell you which one you're doing, and then we'll come back in and we'll release 10 of them every year for the next 12 million years. You get unique what if stories that you're not going to get to tell anywhere else, accompanied with the unique what if style, which adds to just the artistic value of it. And then you've got a series that very quickly becomes like a if you know series where everyone's like, oh, you're not watching What If? Oh, couldn't be me. Like, it's literally there for the taking. I actually find it incredibly disrespectful that of all of the IPs Disney own, Star Wars are doing What If better than Marvel.
Yeah, which is, it's so confusing to me that, and we're hoping that they've said the season 3 is the end of this little trilogy. Hopefully that is them.
I'm desperate.
I'm desperate for the fact that they'd started this and they have to finish it, even though that then Visions started coming out and they're like, shit, we should have been doing that, but we're going to finish this out and then we can restart it and do it.
If they do end What If with, I mean, like, if obviously we know What If is ending with season 3. If they then reboot it next year in the Vision style, I will never shut up about the fact that it was our idea and Marvel owe us a check. I know it will never come, but I will never let you forget. This one is in the news, but it's more of a question than news, but it's kind of news. Okay. Stick with me. So we discussed it briefly a long time ago, but Mr. Beast is obviously doing Beast games on Prime Video.
Yeah.
And last year, the Sidemen had a Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
And in the last week or so, they've announced that their game show that they did last year, called Inside, which was kind of like an I'm a Celebrity Big Brother show,
right,
is going to be moving on to Netflix going forward, with Inside Season 2 being on Netflix and Inside USA going to being created for Netflix. Are the digital age creators, your YouTubers, finally becoming the mainstream? For a long time, they've sat outside the mainstream and no one's really broken onto the mainstream consistently. We've got some people who've made it like presenters, but a lot of the time, the presenters who are also decently big on like YouTube or something, that kind of happened together, not one then the other. Is this breaking down? I don't think it's breaking down the final wall, but is it breaking down another wall of content creators being a bigger part of mainstream media?
I think somewhat, yes. I think it's also partly we're seeing content creation is from these big groups like Mr. Beast, the Sidemen, Kai Cenat with his live streams. We're seeing this shift in the kind of content is almost now reaching it's a planned entertainment project, and it's shifting almost closer to what mainstream entertainment content is, like The Inside being like Big Brother. It's more YouTubers have realized, oh, we can make what's like your more traditional like shows format, but we can do it ourselves. And now they're going, well, but more, not even necessarily better, just like they have more relevant to their audiences. So it's like, and because the younger audiences are more paying attention to them. And then I think it's kind of this meeting in the middle point of like mainstream media is looking for like they need new shows, and they're realizing.
So do you think it's less another barrier is broken down and more mainstream media's realize they can't keep ignoring these people?
Yeah, I think it's more like they've realized, oh, audiences are watching these people make shows that we used to make, but they're having it over there. We're not getting that viewership now? Why don't we just bring them in to make the shows that we used to make?
Yeah. I mean, every network has its reality show, doesn't it? Like Channel 4 was Big Brother, ITV's been I'm a Celebrity.
Yeah.
You have like Survivor in every fucking country has their own version of Survivor. So I guess it kind of makes sense for Netflix, who I know they've had like Too Hot to Handle and stuff, but that's never going to beat out Love Island and stuff like that. So I do kind of see why they go right. Inside, I don't think you watched Inside, but Inside was a very unique spin on this kind of locking people in a building. So the concept was there's £1 million on the line, but you can lose money as a group.
Right.
So like it's basic meals, but you can upgrade your meal and it'll cost like £5,000.
Got you.
And like one guy last year had a pillow that he couldn't sleep without. They took his pillow when he came in and they put it in the shop for £10,000. So it's like, if you want your pillow back, you've got to pay £10,000 for it. And if you fuck up on challenges, you can lose money. So it's like, if you guys all lock in, the winner's walking away with £1 million. But if you fuck about, you might only leave with £5,000.
Got you.
Which is a unique spin.
Yeah.
I see why Netflix, who already have a working relationship with the Sidemen after a documentary, were like, that show did phenomenally well. You guys have only got bigger in the last year. I mean, they sold out Wembley in 2 hours. Why don't you come and put that on our platform? You'll not have to pay out as much of the cost. It's never easy, and I personally am a bit scared of larger media companies getting too involved in the creator ecosphere, because although it's a lot bigger and a lot more commercial than it used to be, it still is largely controlled by creators.
Oh yeah, and I mean that then comes to the creators have to play their own game there, because it's like it's up to like you can have. We've seen it where creators bridge that gap and then lose their audience because they then shift away from what they were as what people related to as a creator. So yeah, it's
what I want is I want more people to have a more of a like a Markiplier approach. Like his recent project he did was originally with big partners, but they wanted him to change things and kind of lose creative control a little bit. It was like, I'll do it myself, don't worry.
Yeah.
And then he did it himself, and it's been massive, and they're probably all kicking themselves in the head now for trying to fight him on it. So as long as like creators go with that approach of, right, this is what I want to do. If you guys want to get involved in it, sweet. But if you try and push it a different direction, I will bounce and do it myself anyway.
I do also think the Sidemen thing is Netflix's answer to Prime Mr. Beast.
Absolutely.
Like, these streaming services are constantly competing. So it's like Prime got Mr. Beast, Netflix is like, fine, we'll get the Sidemen, because they're like two huge brands on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So
anyway, very interesting.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the cutscene late night talk show. I heard we're taking James Corden's spot.
No, we'll do some version of Hot Ones.
Oh, that'd be so much fun. Imagine, we could have so much fun. Does anyone want to give me loads of money to spend making fun content? Because I'll fucking do it. I will spend all of your money. Deadline has reported that Daniel Craig, known for James Bond, Knives Out, and Layer Cake, in case anyone doesn't know who Daniel Craig is in talks to star as Sergeant Rock for DC Studios, which will be directed by Luca Guadagnino. I feel like I've butchered that pronunciation. I can only apologise. Who directed Challengers, Call Me by Your Name, and this year Queer, which also stars Daniel Craig. This is a nothing burger announcement. I know nothing about Sergeant Rock. I'm not going to pretend I do.
Like...
He's a World War II DC character. He seems to maybe be a bit interesting. I've not looked into him too much. I'm not going to pretend I know who he is. Like, oh my god, they're finally doing this. Not a clue. What I will say is, getting a director who's done a lot of smaller projects. I know Challengers was massive, but in general has done a lot of smaller projects. A lot of them thematically seem to be kind of around identity and relationship with like Challengers and Queer and Call Me by Your Name. To do a comic book movie makes me more excited that we are getting what I've been asking for, which is this idea of comic book isn't a genre.
Yep.
This falls right into that.
Yeah, I mean, so Challenges I know has been loads of people said that has been is an incredible film.
Yeah.
So I mean, from that alone, I'm like, okay, he's a solid pick for a director.
Yeah,
this could be
he can make a fucking film. Like although we haven't seen Challengers, the footage of Challengers that I've seen and some of the things I know they did in that film shows that he's got a creative mind, if nothing else.
Sergeant Rock, I quickly looked him up, and like you say, he's a soldier from World War II. I mean, the image from the comics, I'm like, I could see Daniel Craig. He's getting a bit more kind of ruggedy as he's getting older.
Yeah.
We've seen him in James Bond. Like, we know he can play that spy soldier pretty well. I think this character has links to like Suicide Squad and stuff like that. So who knows? I mean,
yeah,
he's a great pick. I'd love if Daniel Craig gets into DC. Not going to complain. He's a great actor.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the reason I got so excited by this is literally it falls into that category of comic books aren't a genre; they are like a style of character. You can tell any story you want from a comic book world. Like, there is no reason you couldn't do a Superman film or a Batman film and have the Superman film be a fucking rom-com and have the Batman film be a fucking horror film, and then both still be great films that are true to the IP of Batman and Superman. This is one of them ones that I'm like, okay, I'm not excited by the project because I don't know anything about it, but I'm excited by what it could mean for what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so excited. And also, like I said, they are big names who are good at what they do, which means that it gives it a good chance of being a success at trying something new.
Yeah, and you've also got to think like, if this is a success, this director will be then potentially recurring pick for James Gunn to be like, oh, this project will suit you really well.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, if James Gunn does try and pull off this comic book isn't a genre's a genre, I will also be claiming more checks from DC.
Or just like a role.
Yeah, no, just get me in a fucking meeting room. I will give me 3 weeks to prepare, and I will come in with something that will convince you to pay me. I will. Collider have claimed that the Superman trailer will be releasing mid-December. Other outlets are kind of backing this, and they're saying that the trailer's going to start airing in cinemas along with Mufasa the Lion King, which is due to start airing, I believe, on December 15th.
I mean, I'm still in my copium prediction of the most we get is a teaser, and then we get the real trailer at the Super Bowl.
What I will say is, if they go big dick enough to go, we're going to do cinema-only trailers for a while, we might go back to like 60s, 70s, 80s style when like the second Star Wars were coming out and the only way you could see a trailer was at the cinema, where people were going to see another film just to buy a ticket for see the trailer and then leaving.
Do you know we can do that for Craven?
That's evil. But yeah, like that would actually be kind of a hype way to start the marketing. It's like Mufasa the Lion King has sold a lot of tickets, but no one's seen the film. Why do we think this is? Oh, you see the Superman trailers playing, and I had to go see it because it's not anywhere yet. Like that would actually be kind of hype.
It would, but in this day and age, it wouldn't last long.
Someone's just going to record it and put it on YouTube. Yeah. This is a really feel-good story that I couldn't not include.
Yeah, I hadn't heard this.
Actor Cillian Murphy and artist Yvonne McGuinness have bought a closed-down cinema in Ireland that closed in 2021, and they plan to reopen it. The married couple have said they are reopening it for the community because it's important.
It's great. I mean,
this is the shit we've discussed before. I would love to just open a cinema.
Like one of them lived near this cinema or something? It's like
they
have a connection to that way, or is it just that they've found out about it and thought?
So it's the Phoenix Cinema. I don't know if that is.
They have any connection to it?
Yeah, I don't know if they have any connection to it or if it's a particularly important one. It's in Kerry. It was built in 1919, so it probably has some historic significance, I'm going to guess. Something that's that old as a cinema is going to be one that's at some point was important to the film industry in the country. So I imagine that's part of it. It's like, it'd be like losing a really old pub or something, wouldn't it? You'd be like, oh, well, that's absolutely sucks. I hope someone comes in and saves it.
Oh, Cillian Murphy's from Cork, so not the same place.
But yeah, it's fucking awesome that they're making sure a piece of film history in the country doesn't die. They're going to save it. They're going to reopen it.
You know for a fact that they're making a Peaky Blinders movie, aren't they?
Yeah.
Premiere at his own cinema.
That would be awesome. But this is exactly what, like, and don't get me wrong, these are not two people who are rich enough that I'm like in the eat them category. I think of the like eat the rich, I think I actually have quite a high ceiling despite how liberal I am. I think there should be like a benefit of how much eat the rich are allowed if you're spending your money for shit like this. We have spoken about this before. This is the kind of shit I want to do if I'm ever even reasonably rich. I want to open a cinema. I want to have a little card so that only like people are going to be respectful and not take pictures of the cinema screen. Wicked viewers, I've seen you on Twitter. To come and just enjoy cinema. Like, it's fucking awesome. This is such a feel-good story. I love it when people do good things.
Yeah, for sure.
Animation Guild have come to a tentative 3-year agreement with studios that is apparently going to offer some protections against AI and stuff.
Yeah, we talked on this a while back that they were threatening
this has been a pretty ongoing one.
Threatening to strike. They wanted to sit down and have talks because obviously the Actors Guild had their talks, the Writers Guild had done theirs. They felt it was their turn. Yeah, so I mean, it's great for them that they're getting AI protection in place, especially for the animators.
So crucially important. The next big one is CG artists.
Yeah.
That needs to get over the line and soon. I mean, they don't even have a union at the minute. They need to just unionize full stop.
Yeah, I think you need to get the VFX and CGI, like all that needs to kind of come together somehow. But
absolutely. And with animation, although it's still not broken through some of the stigma, but racing to the front of people treating it with a lot more respect in the last 3 or 4 years via stuff like Invincible and Arcane and Spider-Verse and the Wild Robot and stuff like that, showing that animation isn't just a kid's thing, but rather it's a legitimate way of telling a story to add something to it. I think it's even more important that they go out there and get their protections and respect so that they can keep doing what they do so fucking well.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I know this is something I've spoken about a few times that you don't particularly care about yet. Christopher Nolan is cooking something, and I'm keeping a close fucking eye on this kitchen.
I don't care about, like, clearly,
It's just
the
so
man
far
is-
away for you, isn't it?
the thing is that this man is stacking.
Yeah, it's getting fucking more insane by the day.
Yeah.
But I shit you not, I scrolled past a tweet when I was like checking up on the weekly news. I was like, that gets updated again a few days later. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
write down the names
Like
yet.
this started, like when it came out that Christopher Nolan's next film was going to have Matt Damon, everyone's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like he's obviously got a plan. Matt's like his main actor or something that he's picked.
Yeah.
Then it was Zendaya and Tom Holland, and I'm like, smart move. He's getting like the most popular couple at the moment in
It's just
Hollywood.
getting more insane by the day. Like we've got the Peter Nagonye, who was in obviously in Black Panther, but more recently in A Quiet Place Day One.
Yeah.
Phenomenal actress. Charlize Theron, absolute goat of the fucking scene.
Mm-hmm.
Anne Hathaway, famous Arsenal fan. Go on, Anne, love you. And then Robert Pattinson, who's worked with him before on Tenet, and gifted him the book that led to Oppenheimer being made.
Yeah.
Is coming back, which got people very nervous about the Batman 2. Apparently, we have no reason to be nervous.
Yeah, I mean,
but what a cast!
Yeah, I'm because
I
this
think
isn't like Christopher Nolan's last film, is it?
No. As far as I know, there is at least 3 Oscar winners in this cast. Matt Damon, Charlize Theron, and Anne Hathaway, I'm pretty sure all have Oscars.
Mm.
Now, I think Matt Damon's might be for writing, not for acting. Still, it's a fucking Oscar. I don't know what the fucking concept of this film is. I don't know when it might be about. I know there's been some rumors that it might be like a vampire film.
Interesting.
But what the fuck?
This is the next Blade film.
Honestly, there definitely were rumors it was a vampire film. So I remember losing my mind about Spider-Man and Christopher Nolan making a vampire film before Blade even gets out. But like, this cast is fucking ridiculous, and I can't not be excited for this film.
Do you know who this needs now? You just need like Ian McKellen or something. Like some older hard hit
Patrick Stewart, that kind of vibe.
Just some like it's a wild.
Denzel.
It almost feels like a cast is putting together the fact this is my final film, even though he's not saying that.
No, it's crazy. I'm very, very excited to see what ends up coming out of this because people are going to be acting like Rent is due, and I cannot wait.
It's gonna be good.
And now to end on a sour note, because I wrote this down in chronological order. The Atlantic has released an article that reports that more than 139,000 film and TV scripts have been used to train AI, including The Simpsons, The Wire, The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, and all films nominated for major awards from like 1950-something to 2016. How is this legal? How do you get away with this?
Loopholes, because there is no law against it.
Like, let me be completely clear. I've never written anything worth a damn. Hopefully one day that'll change. Hopefully. Maybe. But as of right now, not written anything worth a fucking damn. People like the Breaking Bad, The Sopranos, The Wire have won. I mean, The Simpsons have won so many awards. Literally every film nominated for a major film award has been thrown into this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been used to train some chatbot that can't even work out how to do 2 + 2 without burning down an entire square mile of the fucking rainforest. And has been released in another article, which I forgot to include because it wasn't relevant until I've just realised it was relevant. A lot of AI training models are using basically slave labour in third world countries to train the AI models as well.
That surprised me.
If you use AI, you are being unethical at this point.
Well, it's wild to me that the things AI are being used for are the things that are generally only ever good because they have some human connection to them, i.e. all the artistic things. I get it. You want AI to help you draft a cover letter for a job because you're sick of writing cover letters to 1,000 job offers and not hearing anything. I get that. Fine. Use AI to write that. It's going to do a fine job. Getting AI to write a script is just like, people love films because someone put some connection they have into that story, and then the actors did the same. And like, replacing that shit with AI, it's just like, people say it with, I've been saying constantly, like, we're just going to end up with soulless artistic. There's going to be like, you're going to look through art history in like the future, and there's going to be a period of just like some term for the soulless era where AI art was taking over for a little while.
The creative dark ages.
And then you're going to get the era after that is almost like a punk era of rebelling against that.
Yeah.
So
I try not to be like a dramaticist or anything. Like, I know it might not seem like it, but I try not to be too dramatic. I genuinely sit here like, imagining like, you know, like the tell me about the war grandpa jokes and stuff. Tell me about the time when the world was creative, grandpa. Like, what the fuck?
Tell me about
I am a creative person. I have a million ideas a fucking minute, and I am unfortunate enough to not have the time to find a creative avenue that really allows me to fully express that, be it drawing, painting, writing, whatever. But that creative is innate to my soul. You cannot make art without a fucking soul. AI doesn't have a soul. It can never have a soul. All it can do is poorly imitate a million fragments of people's souls and put them together. The joke is give an infinite amount of monkeys, an infinite amount of typewriters, an infinite amount of time, they'll write Shakespeare. The point there isn't that Shakespeare is valueless because of it. The point is that Shakespeare is so unique that it would take literally forever with all of the resources to be able to imitate it.
You've also
like that's the point.
Like, people love The Simpsons because they love Matt Groening's style of what it's like. People love like Christopher Nolan's films because he has a specific style. AI is just gonna like mesh a bunch of shit together, and you're just gonna be like, this doesn't feel like anyone. And then you're gonna, there's just gonna be this era where I think ultimately it will not succeed, because I do think it will just, it'll kind of become rebellious to be like, oh, I'm gonna go see that film that's made by a person, and like the money will shift back to art created by people because that's what people care about going to see.
Do you know what I think the big problem right now is? I think in a genuinely creative way, a lot of people do agree that AI is bad. The problem is the amount of people who will go, AI is unethical, blah, 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 and then go and use AI to make a dumb fucking meme for Twitter. It's like, no, you can't go, AI is bad, we need to avoid using it so they don't think we want it. Oh, but let me just use it to make this funny meme real quick. I know it's really difficult to just kind of go, you have to completely not use something, but let's be fucking clear. 2 years ago, you couldn't really use AI for anything. It's not like I'm asking you to go back before the internet existed and not Google something. What I'm asking is stop using, when you go on Google to a Google search, put -AI at the end of your query, and it will get rid of anything that is AI generated. And if you don't think that Google will notice loads of people are going, I don't want any fucking AI, you're brain dead. Google will notice that shit.
Yeah, Google tracks everything.
Exactly. Like, you can't, it is impossible to use AI ethically right now. And I get on a base level, like using it to write like a cover letter is like not a big deal, but the problem is the way the AI is being trained and where it's getting its information from is unethical. So utilizing it in any way is still unethical. And I'm not moaning at people who didn't realize before today, but the second you realize, it's got to be a no, fuck that.
I do think laws will come in. I hope that they are the right ones, and I think that then kills it in the way it's being used.
Started being a thing in 2008, and deepfake laws only really started to kick in about 2-3 years ago.
Oh yeah, it's going to take a while, unfortunately.
And that was considered fast.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are going to live through an era of it.
Yeah.
I just hope we live long enough to see the other side of it.
Yeah.